women and wives that he was with very nicely, but not in a way that everybody would resonate with, in my opinion. The other two, however, had some relatable stuff, particularly Roger McGough, who was admired by the Beatles in general and Paul McCartney in particular back then. So, first one, on picnics. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, I try to remember them, but their names are ordinary names, and their causes are thigh bones, tugged excitedly from the soil like French children on picnics. That's a nice little punch, doesn't it? Next one by him, a square dance. Similar background, this one. In Flanders fields in northern France, they're all doing a brand new dance. It makes you happy and out of breath, and it's called the Dance of Death. Everybody stands in line, everybody's feeling fine. We're all going to a hop, 1, 2, 3, and over the top. It's the dance designed to thrill. It's the mustard gas quadrille, a dance for men. Girls have no say in it, for your partner is a bayonet. See how the dancers sway and run to the rhythm of the gun. Swing your partner dozy-doed, all around the shells explode. Honour your partner, form a square. Smell the burning in the air. Over the barbed wire, kicking high, men like shirts hung out to dry. If you fall, that's no disgrace. Someone else will take your place. Old soldiers never die, only young ones. In Flanders fields where mortars blaze, they're all doing the latest craze. Khaki dancers out of breath, doing the glorious dance of death, doing the glorious dance of death.
Did Roger McGough write that?
He did.
Gosh,
He's not bad, is he?
clocking on and clocking off.
Yeah, here's another one, somewhat different style. This is called At Lunchtime, A Story of Love. When the bus stopped suddenly to avoid damaging a mother and child in the road, the young lady in the green hat sitting opposite was thrown across me, and not being one to miss an opportunity, I started to make love with all my body. At first, she resisted, saying it was too early in the morning and too soon after breakfast, and that anyway she found me repulsive. But when I explained that this being a nuclear age, the world was going to end at lunchtime, she took off her green hat, put her bus ticket in her pocket and joined in the exercise. The bus people, and there were many of them, were shocked and surprised and amused and annoyed. But when the word got around that the world was coming to an end at lunchtime, they put their pride in their pockets with their bus tickets and made love one with the other. And even the bus conductor, being over, climbed into the cab and struck up some sort of relationship with the driver. That night, on the bus coming home, we were all a little embarrassed, especially me and the young lady in the green hat, and we all started to say in different ways how hasty and foolish we had been. But then, always having been a bit of a lad, I stood up and said it was a pity that the world didn't nearly end every lunchtime, and that we could always pretend, and then it happened. Quick as a crash, we all changed partners, and soon the bus was aquiver with white mothball bodies doing naughty things. And the next day, and every day, in every bus, in every street, in every town, in every country, people pretended that the world was coming to an end at lunchtime. It still hasn't, but in a way it has.
That's a very famous poem. Yeah, very famous.
It rang a bell. I didn't know it was famous.
Yeah, it's quite a famous poem. It's had a lot of circulation, laughter.
Okay. Now, before I do, two little ones of mine. Here's one from the other guy, Brian Patton. It's called Room. Room, you're toneless now. Room, you don't belong to me. I want another room. I want one without your tatty memories. I want to brush you out into the streets where you'll become a debris full of children's laughter. Room, you're murderous. You're a crooked woman with armpits full of lice. You're no good to me. You make me feel like an accident. Make me blush with your crude jokes and your old iron bedsteads. Room, you've made me weep too many times. I'm sick of you and all your faces. I go into houses and find it still you, only this time you're wearing a different disguise. I send out my spies to find who you're living with, but they don't return. I send myself out and find you eating my spicks. It's impossible. You stand there dusty and naked, your records spinning mutely, your bed throwing gleaming girl bodies at the armies of wage clerks who prance in you, your books all empty, your gas stoves hissing, wallpaper crying, sighing, it doesn't matter, for your windows have become tape recordings of the night, and only death will shove you to sleep. I'm going to leave you, going to spend all my dreams. Once in you, I could lie and hear the spying moon apologise as it tiptoed through the clouds and left you in your special darkness. But it's different now. Now only the rain spatters through. And the one other sound is you whispering, I'm not around you, I'm in you. All my walls are in you. Room, you're full of my own graves. Good original.
Yeah. Yeah. Really.
Now, I've taken two of the ones that I'm shortlisting for my second or third down in Sydney in a couple of weeks. I'm only going to do the two little ones that I've made some fairly significant rewrites to. I'll do the slightly longer one first and the shorter one last. So this is the Sins and Bins one. And I'm going to lift up the paper so I can at least do a one-hand gesture. Now let's try like that. Yes. On Fridays, they take out our bins. I think, I'll start again. On Fridays when they take our bins, I think on 7 deadly sins. And how confusing are their names, because sins have intertwining strains. A child whining for licorice shows gluttony or avarice. My teacher sighed. It's crystal clear as she gulped down her frothy beer. Avarice means clinging tight to all that's yours, including shite, while gluttony is lust for what you notice that you have not got. I asked, must lust thus come from envy? She said that's unnecessary. You might desire a person's car, but not resent the driver far. Said I, then tell me this, Gertrude, is gluttony just lust for food, while only lust offends a prude? Is lust confined to wanting fucks, while gluttony savours juicy sucks? Stop that, she spat, such mental sloth will invoke my righteous wrath. Ooh, that's great, I smiled, 'cause when you shout, my lust comes up. What's that about? You know full well, it's largely pride, so kindly bring the winds inside. Made it a bit more belky. Cool.
1 minute 32 it was.
Yeah, it's well inside, so is this one. This is the swearing one. It's a sonnet. Swearing in, swearing out. Respect what the commandment says. Don't take the name in vain. It was quite clear in former days which words would cause folk pain. Slowly, swearing styles transform. Quite new taboos upon us swarm. Once, ruddy, bloody, fuck shit cunt. were naughty words you must not utter. Now, nigger, wog, wop, yid, goo, chink, mark you as racist out the gutter. I wonder, as we look ahead, if cancer, COVID, stroke and dead will be the swear words that we dread.
Yep, 53.
Thank you.
Well done. All right. I don't know what I should swear in it or what, or not swear. There was actually, you did sort of lead me into this one that I'm going to do right now, actually. This is great because it was about racism. You mentioned racism.
Yeah, I thought with that, if I'm keeping that one in, I've got to make it clear. I realise that that's.
I remember once upon a time I listened to, there's a very interesting Alan Watts lecture on racism, and he really nails it. It's all about judgment, prejudice and judgment and disrespect, and you know, generalising a whole group of people.
A lot of this stuff on YouTube, I've not come across that one.
The basis of racism is judgment and generalisation. This is apparent. Judging one group superior and right, one group wrong, whether black or white. Now, this idea is not strange. If we're all going to make a change, we all need a new direction, and to make this self-correction, time to let go of our ego, accept the differences that we don't know. No matter your colour, you can become your best, overcome challenges with hard work. Life is a test. All people can be a success, determination, patience, and never rest. But Oedipal parents make children victims like government, welfare disempowers and tricks them. Don't judge another or say that they're weak. Different times are taken to reach different peaks. If you judge a group weak, I'm going to be direct. It's racist, disempowering, and it's disrespect.
Good.
So you kept it simple, I think.
You can make a much longer one from
I
there.
could, yeah. I actually, there's my poem Respect that's on the wall out there, there's a kind of a bit of the opposite to that. It's building on the positive of what is respect. Yeah. Gladys Wilson, welcome with Myra Sweeney's poetry.
I'm fine in my joints.
Here we are.
Well, good evening everyone and welcome to the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame, and it's nice to have a new poet in here tonight. Wonderful. Now over the next couple of weeks I have a bit on, so I can't make any guarantee that I can show it. But I hope to, but what I've got going on, I'm back and forwards. So my life is a bit of a turmoil at the moment, so I'm just going to play it by ear. But at any rate, I will read this one to Myra Sweeney, and of course Myra was a well-known poet and lived here and of course was related to me. And she'd done a lot of good poetry, and I think she wrote other books as well. But this is called The Pioneers. They came out to Australia from a distant country. They settled in New England and reared their family. They cleared away the trees, built their homes and fences too, ploughed the fields and planted crops in a country that was new. Their children all grew up and took up their selections, clearing new and virgin land, going off in all directions. They opened up this country with blood, sweat and tears, and they did it all in just 100 years. Then they gave it to their sons, who ate the land some more, overcoming many hardships as their fathers did before. They ploughed the ground with horses and harvested the crop by hand, and did it all the hard way, living off this fertile land. Then they handed it down to all of us with old and worn hand. They gave us something that they loved, the rich land of New England. Now time has marched along, and it's another 100 years. and we owe it to this lucky country, to the spirit of pioneers. The hard work has all been done. Now we've got science on our side, but they left us with the heritage that we can claim with pride. Well, James, thank you very much.
Thank you, Gladys. Much appreciated. All right, well, we're getting close to the end of the night, aren't we? What have we got here happening over the next few weeks? Well, this week on Saturday night, there's a film showing of the Dinesh D'Souza film, which I haven't yet seen, 2000 Mules, about election fiddling in 2020 in America, and after that there'll be discussion on corruption in Australia, in Australian politics. It's quite interesting because the last 6 o'clock on Saturday night, and then it's and there's a really interesting video that's been put up there on the event as well about the new National Anti-Corruption Commission has just been operating for now 10 weeks, and they've just been overwhelmed with complaints, some of them going back over 30 years. And yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that over the next few years, what really does come out of that. So that's Saturday.
Tickets at the door?
Yeah, tickets at the door, yeah. Then on, so we've got this market on Saturday, and then next weekend we've got the Guyra Trout Fest. On Friday night we've got a karaoke night here at 6 o'clock. Then Saturday we've got the street market, we've got the market here, and Saturday night we've got Layla White with Beck White, supported by Richard Stanley, and that's a free concert here from 6 o'clock on Saturday night. And then on Sunday, pardon me, the Tall Fishing for Poets Breakfast here from 9 o'clock, along with the youth poetry competition. So young people, if you've got a poem, it's only $5 to enter. There's a written competition and a performance competition, and if you get your entries in, you could win a prize. There's monetary prizes of $50 for the first prize. So yeah, it's worth it if you enter.
Concert at the same time as the film or after?
No, the film's this Saturday, the 23rd. And the concert is the 30th of September. Yeah. Then on the 1st is the Tall Fishing for Poets, that's the Sunday. And then on Monday, Thundercloud's Australian Poetry Show here as well. So lots happening this weekend and next weekend here in Guyra at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. Now, I just remembered I saw this on the weekend. The Guyra Caspers soccer team won the grand final. Now, the league team didn't have much success there, but when I first arrived in Guyra many years ago, they asked me to write a theme song for the Guyra Caspers soccer team, and this is what I wrote. We're the Guyra Caspers and we're great, we're the friendly ghosts from Guyra, mate. We train in the wind, rain, sleet and snow, we're tough little ducks, we're fast, not slow. Guyra Caspers is our call, we're the friendly ghosts and we play football, kicking goals in the wind and snow. Guyra Caspers, go, go, go. Guyra Caspers fly like the breeze, float like butterflies, sting like bees. We're the Guyra Caspers, let the game begin. We stand strong in the wind and we're here to win. Guyra Caspers is our call. We're the friendly ghosts and we play football, kicking goals in the wind and snow. Guyra Caspers, go, go, go. Or something like that. Or go, go, go. Whatever. Go, 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 go.
That's good, it sounds quite official.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I tried to make it a theme songy. And now, see the other interesting things that's been happening in my life. I've been on a deep dive into the world of generative artificial intelligence, and I've noticed that Google now has a tool called Imagen, Imagen, as well, and Bard, Google is getting better and better, and they've just had an upgrade so you can integrate it with your Gmail and your documents now, and so use it to help you generate good emails and documents and stuff like that. So things are happening. One of the funniest things that's been happening over the last couple of weeks is the Giant of Kandahar series. So in generative AI, DALL-E, Midjourney, even Imagen, people have been, it started with the Giant of Kandahar, this giant in 1923. So Kandahar in 1923, the giant things, and there are all kinds of funny old sepia photos of Kandahar with like everything from the giant anthropomorphic lemon to the giant QR code. Anyway, since it was all generated with AI, just before I started, I went to my computer, I sat down, I said, generate me like 6 ideas for funny giant things in Kandahar in 1923, and then write, and I want this and blah blah blah, and write a story. So then I wrote a story, and then I took it and I gave it another prompt. I said, now take that story, and I want it in the style of Monty Python to make it funny, and it did that. And then I said, now take that story and imagine that you are writing in the style of Eminem, and I want a hip hop song with a chorus and a bridge. And you guys already heard it. And that happened in like this quick, and then I got up there and I sang it before we started. That was what I was doing. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is what AI generated. Yo, in Kandahar back in 23, the giants came down, it was plain to see, from the skies they fell like a comedy show, a wacky invasion, just had to let you know. It all began on New Year's Day, Kandahar streets a bright display. The giant of Kandahar made his mark, towering tall like a giant theme park. Oversized hat and a grin so wide, strolled into town and took us for a ride. Locals in shock couldn't believe the scene, the tallest visitor like a dream. Yo, in Kandahar, back in 23, the giants came down, it was plain to see, from the skies they fell like a comedy show. A wacky invasion, just had to let you know. Then the cricket ball, it dropped so fast, crashed on the pitch, a cricket blast, gigantic players, they joined the fray. With bats and balls, they were here to play. Chaos reigned with every swing, boundaries big enough for a king. The laughter echoed through the day and night. Cricket match under starry light. Yo, in Kandahar, back in 23, giants came down, it was plain to see. From the skies they fell like a comedy show. A wacky invasion, just had to let you know, the bridge. But wait, it gets crazier. Just you wait. A giant kangaroo at an incredible rate, hopping around with boxing gloves on. In the cricket match, he dropped a bomb. Then an oasis appeared right in the sand. Palm trees reaching for the heaven so grand. Colossal camel in the canteen so wide, quenching the thirst of the whole world wide. And the quill, pen, ink while they touch the ground. Words flowing freely all around the giant pen and quill. In this wild dream, encouraging verses like an unstoppable stream. Yo, in Kandahar, back in 23, the giants came down, it was plain to see, from the skies they fell like a comedy show. A wacky invasion, just had to let you know, but the cherry on top, oh what a sight, a laughing Buddha shining so bright, adding zen to the laughter above it all. In Kandahar streets we had a ball. In Kandahar, back in 23, the giants came down, it was plain to see, from the skies they fell like a comedy show. A wacky invasion, just had to let you know, outro. So, remember that day so wild and free when the giants invaded with humour. You see in Kandahar's history, this tale will grow, a hip-hop story about giants. Let's go.
Come on, Jay.
Okay.
You want to tell that AI that what you wanted was Eminem, not a Sydney real estate auctioneer.
Yeah.
Because you started off hip hop, and by the end it was like you were selling a house.
I was just rattling off, wasn't I? Yeah.
You sing
No.
yourself.
I think a good hip hop backing track would help me.
Yes.
Level it out. Yeah. So that's it. Well, that's it. So thank you, ChatGPT. That was 3.5 too, not GPT-4. So that's what that produces. So yeah.
I stayed away from it all. I just thought, no, I'm going to just keep away from it.
You're in the 65%. So of boomers. So the statistics are boomers and Generation X, like myself. 68% haven't taken it up. In the younger generations, it's pretty much the opposite.
They've embraced it.
They've embraced it, yeah. And
Cyborgs.
but it's like it's not sentient, so it can't think.
No.
But for productivity enhancements, whoa,
Out
like-
of this world.
really, yeah. Say for asking it to generate an event management plan, like boom, 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 with a list of what you got to do.
Wow.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Do
Yeah.
you think that's making us more lazy, or depending on that, or what?
Well, it's enhancing my creativity because I'm able to think more. Okay, what do I want to do now? What can I do? There's more ideas.
Yeah, right.
Perhaps, yeah. And of course, there's always going to be negatives and positives with all new technologies, and I think as again, discernment is the thing there. One of the good things about that I've noticed with these generative models and the large language models is that they restrict some content. If you ask it to produce, say, if you went to say the Google one, you couldn't ask it to produce a giant running through the streets, jumping on people in Kandahar. It wouldn't do something violent like that,
Yeah, right.
perhaps.
Models.
Like that Imogen one would.
Would you do blasphemy? Like if you said, can you do another chapter 2, Acts of the Apostles?
It's quite possible.
I will give that a try.
Oh, I will, yeah. Well, you do it, yeah. All right. Well, look, let's get generative AI to write you Bibles.
But on your religion,
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it. We're writing your Bible. Thank you.
that's it. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us out there in world of computers and that kind of stuff. And we will see you all next week. Thank you. Goodbye from Wednesday Words. Don't forget to like, subscribe, etc. Blah blah blah.